Jimmy Butler, aka Jimmy Buckets, has long been regarded as one of the best, most respected players in the NBA. If you're a fan of the NBA, you probably know Jimmy for his toughness, defense, and scoring ability. On top of that, he has an incredibly high basketball IQ, always seeming to make the right play and make his teammates better in the process. But if you're not a fan of the NBA, don't worry. This video won't be so much on Jimmy's skills on the basketball court, but will focus on the 5 character and personality traits that helped elevate him towards legendary status, and make him one of the most respected players in the NBA. Although among basketball fans Jimmy is known as a great player, he's never quite reached superstar status. While talented, he does not have the shooting ability of Steph Curry, he is not a physical freak athlete like LeBron or Giannis. He is not as flashy and dynamic of a scorer as Kyrie Irving, Ja Morant, or Luka Doncic. He is a talented, skilled player who does a little bit of everything very well. So what makes him so special? First, his undeniable confidence and belief in himself. I absolutely love watching Jimmy's interviews and press conferences. He has a way about him that exudes confidence without coming off as arrogant. He is cool, calm, and collected. Although his team was an 8th seed in this year's playoffs and has been the underdog of every series they've played, his confidence and belief in himself and his team has never waned.
If I did say it, I probably meant it. Just like I mean every year when I say we're going to win the championship, I mean it. This year is our year. We're going to go into this game 1 and do what we're supposed to do and be the first one to 4. Like I said, we're very capable of it. We have enough. Guys are playing some incredible basketball.
Second is his leadership. You'll notice in the clip that Jimmy keeps using we and referring to the whole team instead of just focusing on himself. Jimmy is the definition of a true leader. There are players in the league who are lauded as superstars, but they are not leaders. They know how to score and how to get their stats, but they are not vocal or emotional leaders in the locker room. Not only is Jimmy the Heat's vocal and emotional leader, he instills confidence in each and every one of his teammates and makes them better on the floor. Something a lot of superstars in the league cannot do. Even when speaking in his post-game press conferences after he led the team to a win, he does not make it about himself. He does not want all the praise and glory. He makes it a point to give credit to his teammates and coaches and puts the team in winning above individual accolades.
I can only tell y'all so many times how much confidence that my teammates put in me, the coaching staff puts in me to just go out there and hoop, play carefree, and as we like to say in our locker room, take us there. And I pride myself on finding that open guy. I really do. I want to get all my teammates involved, and I've never been a guy to say that the player that I am today isn't because of my teammates. It's always because of them. They always make shots. It makes my job so much easier. If I get beat on defense, somebody's always there. I have so much faith in this group of guys that we have, and I've said it all year long. We gonna ride with one another till the wheels fall off.
Look at the stark contrast between that and a LeBron James interview from a few years back.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
That's so many reasons.
I was super ecstatic to win one for Cleveland because of the 52-year drought. Like, I was ecstatic. Like, obviously, I showed that the first wave of emotion was when everyone saw me crying. Like, that was all for 52 years. Everything in sports was going on in Cleveland. And then after I stopped, I was like, that one right there made you the greatest player of all time. Everybody was just talking how they were the greatest team of all time. Like, they was the greatest team ever assembled. And for us to come back, the way we came back in that fashion, I was like, you did something special.
That one there made me the greatest player of all time. He told himself you did something special. His main focus is on himself and how great and special he is. He barely mentions his team at all. Look, you can't take anything away from LeBron as a player, and what he did that year in leading his team to a historic championship was special. LeBron is widely considered one of the greatest players of all time, and while most already say this, he feels the need to remind us whenever he can. When he talks about himself in this way, he comes off as unlikable and annoying. It doesn't come off as confident as much as it does insecure, feeling the need to remind you and prove to you that he is the best, which leads me to our third quality. Jimmy does not care what people think. For many of us, worrying too much about what other people think of us is something that affects us on a daily basis. We worry too much about how people perceive us, if they're judging us or looking down on us. We try too hard to be liked, trying to say the right thing at the right moment so we don't come off in a negative light. It plagues us mentally and can keep us from trying new things and taking risks in life out of fear of judgment from others. Not Jimmy, he is as real as it gets. You can tell that he is answering the questions openly and honestly. He's saying what he actually believes. He's not trying to give the right answer or a safe, politically correct answer to appease the media and fans. He's just being Jimmy.
Did you think then that something like this would be possible?
Damn right, I did. Damn right, we did. And the best part about it is we still don't care what none of y'all think. Honestly speaking, we don't care if you pick us to win. We never have, we never will. We know the group of guys we have in this locker room. We know that Coach Spo puts so much confidence and belief in each and every one of us. Coach Pat as well. And so our circle's small, but this circle got so much love for one another. We pump constant confidence into everybody. And we go out there and we hoop. We play basketball the right way, knowing that we always got a chance.
Fourth is Jimmy's competitiveness. In sports and in life, one of the most attractive, admirable qualities a person can have is their determination and will to succeed. There are players in the NBA who don't seem to care whether they win or lose. They show up, play the game, collect their check, and move on. The same goes for anyone in any type of career. There are those who just show up, do the bare minimum to get by without getting fired, and just want to collect their check and go back to the comfort of their own home. There's no desire to get better. There's no desire to move up or to succeed. They are complacent. Jimmy Butler is the epitome of a competitor. There's no complacency or apathy. The passion and fire he brings to the court is something that you can't help but admire and respect. The two examples I want to show are from this year's NBA playoffs, the first being Game 5 against the Milwaukee Bucks. Mind you, Milwaukee finished in first place in the Eastern Conference and was a heavy favorite against Miami in the series. In this Game 5, the Heat are losing by 6 points with under 3 minutes to play on Milwaukee's home court. Jimmy starts to take over and makes it a point to let Bucks guard Drew Holiday know about it.
This is to tie it, and we're tied at 111.
Trying to pick up the offensive foul, and Jimmy and Drew still going back and forth.
They're still going.
Well,
I like it. We'll have the basketball after this timeout, and plenty of heat between these two, and we will see that matchup for sure coming up.
Look, it's easy to talk trash when you're up or after a win. See Devin Booker and Dylan Brooks.
I don't care, he's old.
As Luka Doncic once famously said, "It's a totally different thing to talk trash when you're losing to the best team in the league in the fourth quarter." If you didn't know, the Heat went on to win the game led by Jimmy Butler and knock out the #1 seed Bucks in 5 games. Not only did Jimmy talk that talk, he backed it up in a very big way. This takes us to our fifth and final quality, which is the ability to perform well in the face of adversity. Some guys in the NBA are great regular season players, but when it comes to the playoffs, when the stakes are high and the lights are the brightest, they shrink. They can't handle the moment or the pressure that comes with it. Jimmy is not one of those guys. Jimmy doesn't shy away from these moments. In fact, he thrives in them. When the pressure is on and his back against the wall, he is at his best. He doesn't let players get in his head or lose composure when his team is losing. He uses those situations to fuel him even further. He takes his game up to a whole other level in the playoffs, when it matters most, which is why he has recently become known as Playoff Jimmy. Let's look at Game 2 of the series versus the Boston Celtics, where again the Heat are huge underdogs playing the #2 seed now, and arguably the best team in the whole NBA. They are on the road in Boston's TD Garden, one of the loudest, most hostile environments in the NBA. After Butler led the Heat to a comeback win over the Celtics in Game 1, the Heat found themselves in a similar situation in Game 2. After some back and forth between Butler and Celtics forward Grant Williams hit a three-pointer with under 7 minutes to go to put the Celtics up 9 points. He then took it upon himself to let Jimmy know about it, getting up in his face as they ran back down the court. Jimmy's facial expression in response says it all. Jimmy went on to lead another furious fourth quarter comeback, intentionally seeking out Williams on each possession to personally make him pay. And make him pay he did. For the second time in these playoffs, Jimmy talked that talk while down in the fourth quarter on the road, backed it up, and came out victorious. In today's world, it's looked down upon to be overconfident, but in the world of sports, nothing is more exciting than some trash talk in the spirit of competition, especially in a pressure-filled environment when the stakes are high. Now again, things are a bit different in the real world. You obviously don't want to be going up, getting into the faces and talking smack to your classmates or coworkers after you scored higher on a test or had more sales in a month. And you also don't want to be the guy that goes around talking about how great you are and putting others down. You'll just come off as rude, arrogant, and insecure. But there is something to be said to have true, rock-solid confidence and belief in yourself, knowing what you're capable of and speaking that truth. You don't have to be in the NBA, play basketball, or know anything about sports for that matter to take something away from this video. Jimmy Butler is someone you can't help but admire and respect. He is a leader of men, a hard worker, continuously working and striving to be the best version of himself, all for the sake of achieving his one goal: winning. He carries himself with a swagger and confidence that doesn't waver whether winning or losing. The belief that he has in himself is so strong that you are forced to believe in him too. He is physically and mentally tough. He stays cool in pressure situations and in fact thrives in them. When the game is on the line, you know you can go to Jimmy. If you're a teammate of Jimmy's, you're lucky to be playing alongside one of the best leaders in sports. And if you're going against Jimmy, do yourself a favor, don't poke the bear. Playoff Jimmy is real.